Hello, welcome to the Boring Show. I'm John, and
I'm Matt.
Today we are working on DashCast, which is our podcast app.
We are. This is the third time we've been working on it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Did somebody say DashCast?
Are we going to do this again?
Why wasn't I invited?
It was an oversight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why don't you meet John? I don't think you've spoken to John before.
Hi, John.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
So I don't know how long Dash will be joining us, but we can certainly just roll with it.
All right. I know when I'm not wanted.
You're very welcome to join.
Okay. I mean, yeah, sure. Stay
John
as long-
said I'm welcome.
Dash, do you have any features we should add to the podcast?
Ooh,
Any
ooh.
feature recommendations?
How about we remove a feature?
How about download the podcast in the background? Yeah?
Sounds good. Yeah, good
What a
idea.
marvelous idea.
Yeah.
Thank you for that segue.
I do have good ideas.
You have marvelous ideas
All right, well.
for a flightless bird. Are you flightless? This is going
I
to kill
just
me.
realized I can't fly. All right. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out indeed. Bye, Emily. So, yes, right.
Yeah.
What are we doing? We're doing background downloading.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So we have. Let's take a look. Where did we finish off last week? We have. We parsed the XML feed. So this is coming from the XML feed.
Great.
And we then were able to create the list of podcasts coming from It's All Widgets. And then we were able to, if this still works nicely, play them back. Wait for it. Did I press the play button? Wait for it. So we have all these pieces, but if this actually manages to play back, we're streaming this directly over the interwebs. Which is great when you have internet, but not so great when you don't. So we're going to look at downloading some podcasts behind the scenes and then playing them locally, I think is the plan.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so we'll leave this run. So what are our options here? How are we going to do this?
So let's hop on Pub. So one way is to use the HTTP package, since these podcasts are just HTTP requests.
Yep.
Like anything else.
Mm-hmm.
The HTTP package does support streaming requests. Mm-hmm. So we could stream the request and save it to a file.
Mm-hmm.
There's also plugins like the Flutter Downloader plugin, which uses native platform APIs to download the file for you. So this one uses Work Manager, the Work Manager API, and the NSURL session download task API on iOS.
This is definitely playing back because I can see the events here, but I'm not getting any sound from this. And I wonder...
Is there sound turned on your computer? Maybe.
Oh, I know what it is. I'm recording sound on my computer, and it's eating the sound coming from the device itself.
Okay. So
you can see it's playing back here.
we might have to fix it in post.
No, we're not going to fake it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly refix my screen capture, so we will be back in 2 seconds. And we're back. Handy tip, when you're using QuickTime to show your iPhone screen, make sure you're not capturing the sound and much configs. We will now see if it's working. So let's select Emily, and let's hit play, and then buffering a bit. And there we go.
Excellent. Yeah.
Hi, thanks for listening.
Sweet.
This is the It's All Widgets Flutter podcast.
All right.
we
So
So, right, where were we? We were
Yeah.
going to do background downloading.
Yeah.
Download backgrounding. Yeah, there we go.
yeah. So we went through the plugin option and the HTTP package option. So let's start with something simple, like using HTTP, maybe.
Okay, so we're going to select a podcast. And then it's going to probably want a download button we could put in there. So
Yeah.
we could do that. So how do we, where should I start?
Let's add the button first.
Okay.
That sounds like a good place to start.
Okay, so I'm going to do this, which is handy. Command K0, just, whoop, there we go. So we've got more space on here. And we have an episode list view. Shift this will expand it. And here we have a list tile. And our list tile has these. So I guess we could do there's a leading and a trailing.
I think so.
Okay, so let's take a look at title, subtitle. Let's see what this, do we have trailing? Yeah, we have trailing. And then we will probably use icon button. Okay, good. What does this take? This takes a icon size, probably takes an icon, right? Yeah, icon, icons dot, that must be download, right?
Download sounds like it would be there.
No download. Arrow drop to arrow downward. Let's just do arrow downward for the time being.
Sounds good.
Okay, this is going to say it doesn't have an on pressed, but I think we'll get away with that for the moment. Okay, there we go. So now we have our download button.
Okay.
We are probably wrapping this. Oh, that's an on tap there. So let's see what happens now when we do an on pressed. And on pressed is going to be what is it? Scaffold of context dot show snack bar.
Oh, okay.
This is kind of why I
Good
do
idea.
for testing sometimes. What does this
Very
show
cool.
snack bar take? This takes a snack bar. I could make an Admiral snack bar joke, but Emily on Twitter says my Star Wars references are unsubtle, and I have no idea what she's talking about. My Star Wars references are the most subtle references known in all the galaxy. Should I keep going? Yeah, I'll keep going. Okay, John, let's take a look at this. What do we need in the snack bar?
I don't know what to say to
Content.
that, honestly.
Sometimes silence speaks volumes. Content.
Yeah, so yeah, it'd be great to show a snack bar here.
This is just to sort of
Make
work
sure
out
we're
that
wiring
things are-
everything up. Because
Yeah.
it looks like when we tap the item,
Yes, the taps are off. So okay,
making sure
so
that we're
now
actually capturing the tap
is that
here.
tappable?
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
So that's cool. So this is one of the things. List tile has an on tap, which overrides everything until we put another gesture detection style widget in, and then it picks it up.
Yep.
Didn't know it did that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Good. So now the question is when we tap in it, do I just do a HTTP in the on press, or are we going to be a little cleverer about it?
Yeah, so in this code here, we have the items.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any unique identifier for the items?
Ooh, that's
Maybe the index of the RSS feed, because we're going to want to store each item and how and whether it's downloaded or not.
So let's just collapse all this up again. Let's take a look at its all widgets feed. So what do we have here? We have, I'm assuming probably the
The URL would be
the
unique.
URL, which is. So here's the item. So this is what we're looking at. It has a GUID, which I'm assuming is a unique ID, and that GUID just happens to be the URL.
Okay, so we could use the GUID or the URL just to keep track of here's the item and here's the download status.
So we'll use the GUID for the time being. Don't know if that's, GUID as the UUID, or as
Globally unique identifier.
yes,
Yeah.
which they're using here as the URL. We might be doing it slightly wrong because we also use that as the URL for downloading, but we'll worry about that when we look at other podcasts. I'm sure Hillel's podcast's feed is compliant, not saying anything bad about your feed. Get good at RSS. I don't think so. Wow, there's a Dark Souls comment.
Over my head.
Not Star Wars. You don't play Dark Souls?
No,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
For all the Dark Souls fans.
Yes. All the Dark Souls. For all one of you Dark Souls fans out there, get good at RSS feeds. What was I doing?
We were let's make a map of the GUID to some object to manage the download.
So this sounds like state.
Yeah, that sounds like state.
So we already have some state management here in the terms of this holds the whole podcast feed.
Oh, great.
So we have an RSS feed, get feed. We have the selected item. We're kind of muddying up our state, but for the time being, it's pretty simple. Do we want to store it in here? We could always break it out somewhere later on. So you're thinking of having a, it's going to be a map of string to...
probably an object. So
it could be, we have like an RSS item.
So you're thinking about storing the download status on that, or?
So what is the purpose of the map?
My thought was we could just store whether it's completed the download or not, and update the icon. But, and then.
Okay, so what type will we have in here? So this would be download status, something like that.
Sure.
So we have this is our GUID.
Yep.
And
maybe some object called download.
Really here, how do you use type defs in? Do you use type defs at all? Dart.
I do, yeah.
Because we could be cleverer here, and we could go, how does Dart type defs work again?
It's just a keyword that you use to define a function type.
But we can use type defs to define a type, right? So something like I'm going way off tangent here, but type def GUID is a string. How do I define that?
Oh, type defs are only for functions.
Oh, it's only for functions?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so forget I said anything. So we have a string, and our download status is going to be percentage done, is going to be Boolean to start with?
Yeah, we could start if it's done or not. And then we also need a way to know for this given URL, where are we storing the file. So that could be an API on podcast, like get file path.
Okay, so this is tracking multiple downloads.
Yep.
And then we need to also track what have been downloaded. Because I'm assuming we're going to have something like final storage path equals /-cast/ downloads or something like that.
Yeah. Yep. We'll probably want to save it to the path. Use the path provider package to save it.
So we could get the path provider package. That will probably want something.
Yep.
We'll want to attach the end path. Okay.
So we want to get the directory for our app, whether on iOS or Android. Save it to this DashCast folder, DashCast download folder.
Okay.
And
so why don't we start super simply? Why don't we just get if we just have the path and the URL, we can start to save things in there. We can always track the download status once we have that working.
Okay.
Is that a good place to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So you think we're going to need path provider?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
So I'm going to go to Flutter packages. We have path provider. Okay, so it's 1.4.0. Don't know if I've really used path provider before. And I'm going to want to go in here. I'm going to want to go path provider is going to be
cool.
I think we're going to have to update these a bit too, because I know Flutter Sound is at 1.5 now. But let's not change all our dependencies and spend the next hour fixing it for the moment.
Yeah, sounds good. looks
So
like we got it. So
we've got path provider, right? Okay, so you probably know more about path provider than I do. So why don't you
I'm going to refresh
up here.
refresh my memory. So in my experience, it's pretty simple. You get a future for the. I always use the applications document directory, which will stick around as long as the app is installed. So that'll be a good way to store downloads, is to just use the application documents directory.
So we'll have something like string get download directory. This is just to get some code down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need to put here import package. Now, I was writing Python all of yesterday, so if this suddenly starts turning into Python, let me know, because my context switching between the Dart and Python is not the best.
Yeah, Dart does not support Python syntax yet.
White space is important.
Yeah. Well, it is in Dart too.
It is in Dart too, but not as important as Python. So we are going to have
It's important to format your code. So yeah, let's do await get applications document directory.
So await get applications
Documents application documents directory. Excuse me.
Why is my autocomplete not working? Directory like that. Okay.
There we go.
So this is going to be async, and this is going to return a future directory. So this is going to be final directory. Okay. So we get the application documents directory, and then
And that should return a future string as well
with the await. That's
for the function get downloads.
oh, you're right. I beg your pardon. Okay, so we have the futures with the string. Okay, now we have, and this is a directory. We could store it directly in applications directory, or do we want to be a little cleverer and append a path to it?
Let's append a path to it.
Okay. So I'm presuming we have dir dot. Is there an append in here somewhere? No.
There is a handy package I know of that could help us here.
Okay.
It's called package path, and it has all the goodies for appending paths, manipulating paths.
No, this is one of the Dart team's packages.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's used quite a lot.
1.6.4.
Yeah, it's a great
Let's
package.
not reinvent the wheel. So we have provider, and path.
So we've got every permutation of provider and path.
6.4. All right, so let's get path. I'm in uncharted territories. I've never seen these before. And now we're going to. So we have the directory. Then we can get the URI is dir.uri. So now I have a URI. And then I am going to need to do zoink.
And one last thing is path is kind of one of those packages like HTTP where it's useful to have a prefix if you don't want to pollute the namespace too much. That's path, yeah.
Okay. So then we have path. Oh wait. So we have a URI. And so how do we path dot? How do I append something?
Let's look at the
Dir name is absolute
API here.
from URI without extension.
So path.join could work.
Path.join.
And that
join
takes,
is going to take
The parts.
all the strings.
Yeah.
So we're going to take URI and this is taking a string actually. Okay, so that's fine.
You can do URI.path. Yeah.
URI.path.path.join. Okay, fine. That's actually awful. There's no such thing as URI path. And I'm not going to call it path.
Let's call it
Prefix.
yeah, prefix.
And we have our
Source path. Yeah.
Path suffix.
Great.
And hopefully that's going to handle any double slashes and whatnot.
Yep. And
Now we got to change it back to a directory, right?
yes.
So we have
So join returns a string. So
join returns a string. So final. This is the absolute path, right? Absolute path. My code is turning into absolute nonsense. And so then we are okay. So when we save the HTTP file, we have to work out whether it needs to be a directory or whatnot. Let's just return this for the time being.
Okay.
And we'll work out what we need to do.
sounds good.
With that. Okay, so now we've got this handy download directory piece. I can totally make this tidier later on. So now we need to initiate a download.
Yes.
We could do it directly in the code. We could have like a global function to do the downloads, or we could possibly put the a download function inside our podcast model / change notifier. What do you think is the tidiest?
I think it's fine to put it in the podcast class. What do you think?
Let's stick it in there. This thing's gonna get messy, but it's pretty simple at the moment. So let's just say void download, and it's going to be RSS item, and we'll assume it can get the path from that. That makes sense?
Yep.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to, I bet that's going to need to be async. So we are going to need we can do it with the HTTP directory?
Yeah, I think we should use the HTTP class, or
We should
looks like
already
we
have
already
it
have
here.
it. Yeah. HTTP package. Yeah.
And you were making some pretty bold statements about the streaming API and streaming this to the file system. So
I think it'd be fun to use a stream.
okay.
So here on the docs for HTTP, we have this API for a streamed request.
Streamed request. Oh,
So-
I've used this ages ago. I've forgotten.
Yeah. So let's see if we can use this and stream it to the file.
Okay, so we're getting mighty advanced with our streams here. So this is called this is going to be HTTP, right? Dot streamed request. Okay, rec equals. I take it is going to be stream. Okay, I'll tidy these up in a minute. Copy. I should have gone to bed before midnight last night. I feel like, never feed me after midnight. Gremlins reference.
So it takes. It looks like it takes two.
You don't get any of my
parameters.
references because they're all from the 80s when you probably didn't exist. You know,
All
it's
right.
like there we go. I need to be a little more up to date with my what are they called? Pop culture references.
I have seen Gremlins. I've seen Gremlins. I just.
Isn't it a great movie? It's like one of my favorite. Gremlins. Bear with me. Gremlins is the best Christmas movie ever made.
I'll watch
Okay?
it for Christmas this year.
It's
Yeah.
set in Christmas. It has Mogwai with Christmas hats on. It's got gremlins covered in tinsel and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And they absolutely destroy the town. Best Christmas movie ever. Trust me. That and Die Hard. Die Hard is also an excellent Christmas movie. Not a lot of people know that.
Okay.
What was I doing?
We were
Streamed request.
Yes.
Okay. So streamed request is let's have a look. Okay, you tell me what does stream request take?
It takes two parameters. A method, so get. So string called get.
Is it a string?
request. Yeah, we can just give it capital GET.
HTTP.get.
Sorry, just a string that says GET. Yeah.
You mean get?
Yep.
Do I have to capitalize the G?
I usually do, but I usually capitalize all three.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, I shall. I'll do
But that
then.
is a good question.
No, that actually looks. good. One found.
And the URL, so that's a URI object.
So maybe what we should do up here is...
Well, the URI is the request we're making.
I'm confused. So it's not a URI?
So keep that a string, and
Okay.
let's use the URI from the RSS item. See what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh.
We will decide what to do with the data in a second.
Good.
And I think you can just use
Good.
URI.parse to get a URI to parse that string.
Okay.
Into
So
a URI.
URI.parse.
So that'll get us a URI object.
Let me wow, my font's ginormous. There we go.
Very cool.
Okay. So having you literally told me exactly what to type because I couldn't work it out for myself, we now have a stream request.
Yes.
So how do we kick off downloading the stream?
Good
Request
question.
There's request.send. Because this is lower level than your usual HTTP stuff, so I think we have to do a few things here. So what is this? Request.send sends this request.
Okay, and that'll give us
initializes a new
response.
client and closes the client once the request is complete.
That sounds good.
Okay, so let's see, what does this give me? Final client equals rec.send. Oh, this is response.
Yeah.
Response. We want to await this, I bet.
Yep.
And now what we can do, so this is a streamed response.
Mm-hmm.
And I presume we can do if response dot status code is not equal to 200. I'm just going to put this in here for the time being, just so it doesn't bite us later on.
Sounds good.
Throw exception HTTP unexpected HTTP code string interpolation res.status code.
Cool.
Once I'm actually taking into account errors, which is nice.
Yeah.
I won't do anything with it. It'll Flutter will hide it, but we'll see it show up down here. Okay, so now how do we start the stream? So we got res dot
res.stream.
okay, so now we
Perfect.
have a stream.
Makes sense.
Avoid using unnecessary statements. What you mean? Stream is the response body that can be read. It must always be a single subscription stream. So with this stream, we can write. So we can start to do clever things, because we can do things like pipe it, manipulate it. But we're thinking this is going to be a stream of bytes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, well, obviously it's a stream of bytes. We got bytes to string. Okay, how do we pipe this into we're going to have to open up a file, and we have to pipe the data into the file, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's open up the file maybe and see what we have to work with.
So how do I, on iOS and Android in Flutter, how do I just sort of like create a file and write things into it?
We can just create a file object, and I think that will take a path to write to.
So we got this. Let's just put it here. We'll tidy up this code later. So we've got file.
File.
Yeah, file. Q equals file. Is it file?
We might need Dart.io.
That's true. Again, I keep thinking I'm in Python. No, that's not what I want. I want Dart. IO as path, as not path. And let's be tidy about this and put our main ones up here.
Great.
Okay. And then where are we? We are here. Good. So we have file, and it's going to be, if I remember correctly, we give it a string path, which is going to be our await get download directory.
Mm-hmm. And we
have to. I think we have to give it it's.
We might need
saving bytes, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we might need to append the file name. So more path manipulation, essentially. So we'll want to grab the file name from the path of the URL.
Oh, whoops. I see what you mean. But don't we have to say that we have to, because you can read, write, you can typically, again, I'm thinking Python. You either set it for read binary, write binary. Do we need to do that in Dart?
Yeah, so we'll need to open the file and...
Okay, so the file isn't opened yet.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so we have get download directory, and this is a string. And this takes a string. I see what you're saying. Let's have a look at what we have in the RSS item feed. We kind of have to strip this off the end of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's nowhere where it just says MP3 here and here and here and here. Okay. Welcome to our episode of Manipulating Strings. So we've got to get download directory. So what we could do is we could change this to get download path string file name.
Okay.
And then we could do, this could be clever, path.join.
Boom.
You think so?
I think that'll work, yeah. That looks good.
This takes forever to test. This is where unit tests would come in really handy.
Yeah, indeed.
So we now have get download path. And we are going to do some nifty, well, we could do some regex. But
we could also use the path package.
Path dot. Is there a way to get so the base name is not what we want, right?
If I remember correctly, I think there's a function called split. And then you could grab grab the last.
And this is going to be RSS item dot GUID.
Was that a gremlin?
I can't actually. I can't now. You don't want me to do my tickle. That's a Gremlins reference if anybody gets it.
Okay.
Hang on. Argument of type list string cannot be assigned to parameter of type string.
Yeah. So split. Yeah. Exactly. So
dot final.
Dot last. Final. Last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Save. Commas for. Blah, 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 blah. It's not. It's probably the await. Oh, await is messing it up. I can put. Fine. Okay, so we now have a file, and then you're going to say we need file.open.
Yep.
For write, which is going to give an IO sync.
Ah, that's great. So a sync would be perfect.
And we got file mode.
Yes.
And is there okay. Is that going to be binary?
So we'll need to match up the type of data that we're piping into it with the type that it's the file needs. So
this is. I mean, it likes it. I mean,
that
it's
might
probably
work.
not as might.
Yeah, it might work.
Might work.
it certainly doesn't hurt to try doing that.
Famous last words.
Normally, you'd want to check the types of the files and make sure that you're writing binary. But let's give it a shot.
Okay, so we now have this download method.
Yeah.
And some slightly gnarly code, which we can fix. But I think it's all pretty good.
And will we need to await something to check to make sure that it finishes downloading?
Oh, do we want to do
Maybe print something when it's
just .them when it's or when complete?
when complete.
And then our action is going to be a function, which is and what we could do here is we could just print. Print to the console to start with.
Sounds good.
Because otherwise I'm going to have to pass no context to do any sort of UI stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's gnarly enough already.
Yep.
Ideally what we would do is we would have something here called download complete, and then we could call notify listeners, and then we could listen for download complete, and we could go boom. But there's enough that could be going horribly wrong here. So we now have this wonderful download function, which we are going to wire into this one, right?
Yes, the list view.
Okay, so here's all the on-press. We'll leave in the snack bar. That's kind of cool.
Sounds good.
We could even do something cooler like downloading i.title, just to be a little fancier. And okay, we're going to do the snack bar. Let's do that at the end, and then we're going to do podcast.of context. Is that the way it works? Oh no, it's
Provider.
Provider.of podcast context. So now we've got a link to that .download. What do we give download again? We give download an RSS item.
All right. So that will download in the background essentially, and we'll get a print statement, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a hot restart just because we've been messing around with so many things.
Yeah.
And we messed around with the state a little bit. So, okay. Let's bring up my console. View. Well, not console. My debug. Yeah, that's it. Would you care to do the honors?
Yes. Let's click on Kevin.
Okay, we've got a downloading Kevin Moore. Now the problem is this could take a while, depending on how many megs it is.
Yeah, these are usually.
We have not thrown any errors, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, it's a good sign. This man, we should okay. This is the problem when you do streaming in the background. It's like, I have no idea what's happening. Let's pop this open again and see pipe stream. I mean, this is literally going to stream in the background. So let's talk about what we're going to do next and give this a minute. And if nothing happens, then we can start to dig into it.
I'm getting a little concerned. It probably should be done by now. Yeah,
sure. I was one of the reasons why I was playing around with Python yesterday was I have an old gist which lets you chunk and download things in the background, and I was fixing that for Python 3 because it's been 4 or 5 years since I touched it, and it took like 40-50 seconds to download.
Mm-hmm.
This has been 40-50 seconds, so I'm beginning to agree with you.
Okay.
And this will be an interesting one to debug because we're playing around with streams.
Let's try.
There's other ways that we can look at this. So one of the things we could do is, as opposed to just writing it to begin with, we can see if the data's coming through.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do while we play with the stream is I'm going to just keep this for the time being. And you know what? Actually, we don't need this either. Now, if that had happened, we would have got an unexpected error. So we have res.stream dot.
Could listen to it.
Dot listen, that's a good point. Dot on data, which is going to give me what is on data function on error. No, sorry, on data is just probably.
It's just a function that takes a single parameter.
And that parameter was on is.
Looks like it's just a list event. So just a bunch of bytes.
List event. I missed that function list of int. So this is going to be bytes. I take it. And we can basically say print received
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be good to know if we're getting any bytes.
Yeah, let's do a hard restart again just because. Okay, so what we're saying here is this is going to go in, and this is, you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to do print. People now learn how I also debug Python with print statements. Starting string. And again, I would write a whole unit test around it, or an integration test around this to make sure it's working. But
yeah,
let's barrel forward. So give that a shot and see what happens.
Nothing.
Maybe I'm not calling on download properly, which would be a print running download. Okay.
Oh. I wonder if we are actually downloading, but if you scroll back up, we are calling a request send first. So we actually won't start listening until the request has completed.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, but if that's the case, then we can never use res because it's always future.
True. Okay, so the
But that's
request
an
that send
interesting
probably
point.
completes once the request is started. So that's probably fine. Yeah.
Yeah, because so let's just see what happens now. Okay, so we're running the download. You know what? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, we could set breakpoints maybe.
Let's just pop in a breakpoint here.
Sounds good.
And okay, so we're hitting here. We step down. We step down. And we can put another breakpoint in here and hit play. Okay.
So something must be wrong with our
So here's
request.
our this. Let's just open up the definition of this. This initializes a new client and closes that client once the request is complete. If you're planning a multi-node request, you should use a single client for all these requests. So what's happening in here is it creates a new client. It awaits client.send. And then it gets the stream. And then it returns a new streamed response. Oh look, I didn't know that was rethrow. That's cool. And there's a whole bunch of things in here. Yeah, have a little Google around for how we use stream requests properly.
Yeah.
Because this looks like it just gets the streamed response. And then it gives us a stream, or it sets the stream.
Yeah, I wonder if we're getting a status code we don't expect, potentially.
It would throw an exception, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well. No, it doesn't even get to that point.
Yeah. Be nice to know why.
Yeah. Running download for item for
Maybe we should print the GUID. Yeah.
item.GUID.
Yeah.
So all right, see what happens there.
So what happens with when you click that link? Does that?
So this.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So we are clearly misunderstanding how this works here. HTTP request. Code. Yeah, so you get the request. That's fine, which is get. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Item.good, which we've worked out is correct. And then, yeah, we need to get the request to get the stream. So do we need to do something else here?
That looks correct to me, just from what I'm looking at in the sample.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would.
And this is still when we're not actively killing this off because this is held in this class.
Yeah, once it's kicked off, it should
complete.
go. Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, if we start multiple ones.
Oh, you're stopped at a breakpoint right now, but.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you're still. It keeps. Okay, so we're not even getting the future from the send. We're not getting to line 47.
No.
No.
I mean, we can. I mean, it's definitely getting the future because we could like
Yeah, we could print something, but print the status code.
Future res is that, and then final res is await future res. That's kind of pointless, but if we were to run this, I'm sure we're going to. Oh, whoops, do that again. I should have stepped.
Okay, so it's continuing in some other code here.
Yep. And now it's off on its...
We're never getting to our other breakpoint. That's very strange.
Okay, I'm sure we're doing something daft here. I'm missing something. Okay, so this is interesting that we're busy with streams. Okay, I have done this ages and ages ago, and I can't quite remember how I did that.
I mean, we could skip the streaming thing and just switch it back to a future. So just use a GET request and save that to the file.
We could. Why don't we? I'm wondering is okay. Let's. We could try. We could try just creating a separate Dart file and test this. Take it outside of Flutter. We could really mess with it then.
Yeah, so it looks like stream request is the wrong tool for the job here.
Is that because we can't get it to work, or?
It's actually opposite of what I thought it was. It's streaming the request to the server for something like a file upload.
Oh,
so I totally led.
So it's waiting for us to start to pump stuff into it or something?
Yeah, yeah.
We misuse stream request. Should we be using streamed response then?
It looks like the better API would be to just use a client and yeah.
Because there's a way of doing like, how do we download a stream? Because there's streamed response, right?
We can use a client, or we can just call http.get, which would return a future.
But can we stream that? Can we get?
I think a client would be better. Okay. Client is more likely to have the stream API that you need. So we can just create a new client here.
So I have a streamed response.
Let's create an HTTP client first.
Okay. Yeah. So HTTP final client equals http.client. Okay. Abstract class.
I think that's okay.
No, we can't create an instance of an abstract class, right?
We need a different package. So go up and import. Is that right? Client should create a new client. There is a client constructor.
Yeah, there is. I mean, if you look at stream request,
It's implemented differently, but I think that's okay to do. I think it's a factory constructor.
Oh,
I think that's allowed.
okay.
Yeah.
Client equals new client. Client, HTTP source. Am I using a different one?
No, I think that's allowed. It is an abstract class.
Okay.
But abstract classes can have factory constructors that return a
Okay.
implementation.
So I should be doing this then, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so then we have client dot.
Let's do get. Or let's see what get returns. So that returns a future response. And I think the response object will have the stream that we need.
Item dot GUID. Okay, and is this a future final response equals await, and then response dot. I still think we need a streaming response
Yeah,
because this
is there a way to
this
get
does
that?
not have a.
Yeah, that'll just fetch the entire thing in one go.
Yeah, I did this before. Okay, we're gonna work this out. It's personal challenge now. Streamed response. Why don't you have a wee Google around with streamed response and see what we can get to. I'll go to the definition. HTTP response with the body received asynchronously. The stream creates new streaming response. Should be single subscription. It looks like we have to pass it the stream. Base request. So we create a stream and we give it to it. And then this takes headers. It's got a base request. There's probably something which creates this nicely. Right, how are we going to use this? We have a byte stream. Okay. And then this dot stream is 2 byte stream. Okay.
Oh, let's use send. There's a send method that returns a strange response
Okay, so where do I get that from?
on the client.
Okay, so we got a client.
Let's just call that client. Yeah.
You mean this one?
Yeah. Yep.
This. Oh, we need a base request now.
Yeah. So
So we just create a.
there's a request object.
Request. HTTP request even. We have a base request, a base response. We have request.
And then we probably just set the
Get.
URL. Yeah.
URL item.eguid. Okay.
URI.parse.
URI.parse.
Okay.
We do that. Okay. What does this give me? This gives me a final rec. Okay. And then we send the rec. And res dot stream. Okay, and you know what? We can just hang on to this in case we use of it later on. Okay, so we are now, our download now looks like this. So we get a client, we make a request, we make a response, and then we stream. Okay, let us see
Just my work.
what happens. Okay, so you should do the honors.
Okay, so we're stopped at a breakpoint. Maybe
Oh,
we can
stopped at a
just
breakpoint, yep.
continue.
There you go. Ooh,
Okay, so we got some bytes. Are we continuing to get bytes is the question.
we received stream response from which the response body data can be read.
Okay, got it.
So, but the response body data should be a lot larger than that.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Now I got rid of the breakpoints. Let me just test that once more. There we go.
So how many events did we get? Looks like we got
We got
plenty of events.
loads.
So I'd say we figure out how to get the body out of that.
So that should be the body. I mean, according to this, and you can tell me if I'm wrong.
Oh, okay.
The stream from which the response body data can be
Great.
read. So
Perfect.
I'm going to pop this in here because
Okay.
this should be correct. And I am going to bring this back into play just to check. Get download path. Res.stream.pipe.
Yep. So I think this stream is probably a single subscription stream, so it's probably not okay to listen and pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can probably, but once we pipe it out. Okay.
Cool.
Want to give it a shot?
All right. Let's see what.
Missing plugin. Oh, it's because we used.
The path provider.
Yeah, we actually have to kill the whole app.
Yep.
And recompile. When you add something with a plugin, please remember to,
But our
restart
request
the
got
whole
made because we wouldn't be getting we wouldn't be opening the file if we didn't have the request already made. So
Yep. So we have progress. Where's our code go? There we go. You know what? We're never going to reuse
bold,
that.
very bold.
I'm going to delete all the code which totally doesn't work. So this is where we're at.
Cool.
Cool. That didn't take us too long. But we still don't know if it's working yet. So we will let Xcode do its magic. Here we go. And let's get rid of this because there we go. So now people can see what we're doing.
All right. Let's start a download.
Let's look at the debug console. Can't open a file. DashCast downloads. No such file or directory. Do we have to make a directory?
That doesn't look like the right path.
No, it doesn't, does it? Okay,
It
so
should have some prefix in there for the applications directory.
Okay, so
Join.
try it again. Oh, hang on a second. Try it again. Oh, hang on a second. Not sure why that's not red. Unverified breakpoint file is modified. Please restart the debugging session. Fine. Give it a shot, see if it stops.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so that looks correct. Are we using the path from this function?
So this all seems to be correct. Obviously we can't see. Can I step? I can step. And then I can say,
Oh, the last is on the wrong. Is the last on the wrong?
it is. Well done, sir.
Yes. No.
No.
It was on the right one. Never mind.
No, because this is get download path. Oh no, you're right. It is in the right
Let's
one.
put last.
Okay, but let's just see what is. Let's step again. Can I see what's? How do I view things? Show me the money.
We might have to put that on a separate line, unfortunately.
Okay, so let's just go back up here and not try to be so clever with my breakpoints. Final.
Well, I was saying down below.
I'll just do this, which is kind of ugly, but don't care. We'll get it working. And then we return absolute path. Move my breakpoint to. I hate it when it does that.
Yeah, this should be working.
Why
This
does-
is
why-
this is strange that it can't open that file.
There we go. Okay. Let's. Oh, no, I've got it there. Okay. Anyway, let's get rid of this. All right, fire away. Let's see what we get.
Oh, wrong button.
Okay,
So it's wrong.
path is not joining this correctly.
That's odd.
Joins the separate into a single path using the current platform separator. That's weird. We also have this.
Oh, join all.
But why is, let's go back. So we have this, var mobile documents, path suffix, that, but it's only joining the last two and it's ignoring the first one. Let's see what happens here. I'm confused.
I'm
Is there,
confused by
is there
that.
something wrong with our... I mean, let's just change this to that.
What is the...
Maybe the slash is
Okay.
completely messing it
Yeah,
up.
possible.
Although, yeah, that doesn't seem right to me. Do the honors, and we shall see what happens.
Okay. So, gotta be careful with the slashes. It looks like adding the slash told the path package,
Yeah.
I want this to be absolute. So,
Yeah, okay. So, we can go back to this, just to avoid having to do some things. We're going to test this because, you know, can't assume anything. Boom. Yay. Play. This is now in here. Okay, and we still don't have a complete message showing up. Now, we don't actually know if it's written or not. But we can do this, and we can do this, and we can go back to res.stream.listen.
I'm wondering if we should set the encoding, potentially. Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Okay. I just want to make triply sure that something else hasn't gone awry. Maybe we should have not used streams to start with.
Yeah, it's always easier to use HTTP get. Oh, there we go.
Okay, there's a bunch of stuff there, and it also had a bit of a crash.
Okay.
Oh, that's... Oh, it still can't open it?
Is there another setting for file to...
We should look at that because I've never done actual writing of files to in Flutter, so maybe we're doing something.
Do we need to
daft there.
open the file, maybe?
Well, it says cannot open file path. No such file or directory. I'm wondering, do we have to create the directory, which means maybe what we
Yes,
should
we
do
do.
is just do this.
Okay.
And
Just store them in the directory that we know exists.
yeah. All right, see what happens.
Okay. Did we get an exception that time?
No,
Okay, cool.
we didn't get a file complete though. Oh wait, because of course we didn't.
Excellent.
Okay, now try it again.
Great.
Let's see. Well, I love your confidence.
We will get it. So
Yes.
we
Good
were
job,
able
sir.
to complete the download.
I have no idea if the file's there, but good job, sir.
Yeah, once we're done, we should close the file. We could print out the size of the file.
I wonder, does this, when complete, is this automatically closed when pipe finishes?
It could.
It could. The return feature, blah, 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 blah. Because if it closes, I mean, when complete, what we can obviously do here then is file dot, there you go. Oh, how do you close a file?
Looks like the
Open, right. Copy.
the open write function does manage closing the file.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
And that
Good.
works for errors too. So.
So we only have a few minutes to go. So the question is, shall we quickly see if we can read back what's downloaded?
Sure.
So we can check. So we've got a void download. Then we probably would have list of...
I would just say, I would just try passing the file path to the player. Once
you
we
mean like hard code it and just see if it works?
yeah, I think that would be a good test
Okay.
with the time we have.
Let's clear this.
So instead of playing it from the URL, we play it from the
Go
file
up
that we
here.
downloaded.
And we shall use Emily as our test subject. Okay.
Okay.
That will probably overwrite. I wonder if that would even throw an error. See, now nothing got shown. Okay, so we are going to go to our... That's used everywhere. Where is... let's get a high level view here. Wink. Okay. Player, audio controls... Let's see if I can find where do we...
Oh, maybe it's in the buttons. Yeah. In the state.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Start player. Yeah.
Okay, await sound, start player URL. So theoretically, if I go...
Did the download complete though? Is my concern now. We could certainly try it.
Well, let's save this first.
Yeah.
So now the big test would be
Yeah, let's do a hot restart. That sounds good.
not to look at Emily's, but to look at another one because it should still play Emily's.
It looks like it didn't. Did it reload?
No, it looks like it's a bit borked. So let's do this. Oops. There we go. Okay, so we spent most of our time. So it works. Let's do a little bit of a recap while this is going. So streaming is a thing which requires a little bit of thought. We certainly have good support in Dart for it, but you kind of need to know what you're doing. So
Yeah, we learned you can stream the request too, which we were unexpectedly or unintentionally trying to do.
So we'd like to write a podcast server, then streamed response is the way to go.
Streamed request.
Or streamed request, I beg your pardon. In the end, all it came down to was we just needed to do a little more low level. You can't do http.get. You need to play with the request.
Right.
We're still not sure if this works, but it should. Okay, so
let's download Emily.
I think we've already downloaded it and saved it, and it would still be there.
Okay. mean, it would overwrite.
Would it? Because let's see what happens. Oh, yeah, that's good.
So the path should be the same.
Problem is we're not. Oh, of course, it's not going to print anything out until it gets to done, which we're not seeing. Let's try something we haven't downloaded. Let's try Remy. That's not even hitting this now, which is a thing. Okay, so we have some problems there, and if we do go to here and hit play, we don't have any playback.
Yeah, that episode probably isn't downloaded.
Because I saw it download once, but for some reason now we're no longer seeing any indication that things are downloading.
Mm-hmm.
So we are, let's just see if we can get to a point where we have that working. What changed? Not even sure that that's the correct way of using this one. Okay, that's obviously going to throw an exception, which we need to continue from. And this is all going to be exceptions all the ways down. I'm going to do this. Okay. So we choose any of them. And what should we see? We should see this ultimately, which we've seen once.
We have, yeah.
Okay, so I got rid of the breakpoint.
Okay, it's complete.
Odd.
So let's do a heart restart and maybe get the URL for Kevin.
Okay.
Maybe try to play that one.
So we're going to do a hot restart. I think maybe what happened the last time, if it did download, we tried to download it again and it might have just overridden it. This might happen this time as well.
Yeah, usually when you open for writing, it should override the file. But so are we good?
Yep. Episode 27. Oops. There we go. And now we get nothing.
I think the breakpoint's throwing it off.
I think the breakpoint is doing something odd.
Yeah.
But that now means this file might not exist anymore. Why would a breakpoint cause that?
Let's see if we can play it, maybe.
Yep. Where's my... it was in here, wasn't it?
It's in play.
Okay. Let's get rid of this.
Cool.
Oops. Nope. Yes. Yes.
VS Code is being too smart.
Stop that VS Code. I know what I'm doing. Hang on. Syncing. Yeah, and it seems to be messing up our restart as well. And what we're getting here is
Okay.
a problem with...
So it must be trying. It must not. Maybe this plugin doesn't read files.
We also don't know if this plugin reads files or not.
Yeah. So we might have to play the file some other way.
We've made lots of progress today. We have potentially...
We broke our app.
You have watched us code nine lines of code which may not work. That was pretty good going,
But
John.
we did successfully make the pull request.
We did. We are successfully streaming the data down.
Yeah.
We're unsure whether it's being written to...
Not pull request.
Yeah, pull request. You've got GitHub on the brain.
Yeah.
We have successfully pulled down the data. We're not too sure if it's streaming correctly. There's some weirdness every time we do a breakpoint that it just kind of, I don't know, maybe the HTTP server's borking out or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
weirdness
possible.
there.
Yeah.
And we also don't know if the plugin we're doing it correctly for file-based pieces. We might be, so it could just be us.
Yeah.
So a couple of things we're going to need to do. We're going to need to look at the file. We're going to have to write something to look at the file system on the device
Yep.
and look at the size of the file to see if it matches up so we make sure the downloading is written.
Yep.
And what I might do is I might just take this code and I might just drop it into a Dart file and just do it from the command line because it should work equally well here.
Yep.
And then we need to examine the plugin for file-based. One of the easier ways to do that is probably from like dropping it as an asset. But we know we should check for the file system.
Yep.
And this is all work that we could either do in the next Boring Show, or we might just do a little bit of prep and fix this up first, so you don't watch us debug for another hour while we're doing this.
Yep.
But clearly, streaming data is fun, but is a little opaque. So we need to put a little more code around seeing exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Definitely had some fun. Learned a little bit, and hopefully we get this working.
We learned that streamed response or
Stream request.
Streamed request is not the way to go for streaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. All right, everyone. Thank you very
Great.
much.
Thanks.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Bye.